So hi guys, welcome to Percentage Advanced. So this will be a series of next 5 videos in which we'll be solving 7 questions in every single one of them. That is 35 questions in total that I will be helping you solve. That is the process that you should follow is pause the question, solve it, and then check my approach, right? That is the manner in which you should follow this, right? Let's try and understand what do we have. So in a town, the population of males decreased by 25% from 2001 to 2002. The population of females increased by 20% in this period. If the females found 44.44% of the population in 2002, what percentage of population in 2001 were males? Right? So we are talking about 44.44% of the populations were female. Right? So let us assume now, now how will we do our assumption? See, to get better values, because my females is 4 by 9, let's take my total number as a multiple of 9. Because when I take the total number as a multiple of 9, what will I be getting? I'll be getting my values in integer form, right? So let us assume that in 2002, the total population was 90. Out of that, female population was 4 by 9 of 90. That is, female population was 10 fours of 40. And that simply means that the male population was nothing but 50, right? 2002 mein. Then it says the population of males decreased by 25% from 2001 to 2002. Okay, so in 2001, as compared to, let's say in 2001, let's say the male population was X, right? And coming to 2002, this population has decreased by 25%, correct? The population has decreased by 25%, correct? So that simply means that initial value, that is 2001, was decreased by 25%, so multiplying factor would be 3 by 4, and we have arrived at the final value of 50, right? So the value of X becomes equal to 66.66, right? So value of X becomes equal to 66.66. Also, it has been said that the population of females increased by 20%. So females in, let's say, 2001 were Y, correct? So that population has increased by 20%. That means multiplying factor of 6 by 5 gives you a 40, correct? So Y becomes equal to what? 200 divided by 6. 200 divided by 6 would simply mean 33.33. Right? So Y is equal to 33.33 and the total population becomes males plus females, that is total population becomes 100. Now the question is what percentage of the population in 2001 were males? So out of 100, there are 66.66% males. So 66.66 males, the percentage gives you a value of 66.66 percentage. That is option number B becomes my correct answer. All right, let's move on to the next. So it has been given that in a public sector unit, PSU, there are 45,600 employees. Now, when the PSU offered a voluntary retirement scheme, 40% of the employees applied for VRS. So how many of them applied for VRS? Let's calculate applied. So applied is 45,600 multiplied by 40%. So 40% is nothing but 2 by 5. This gives you a value of what? So this goes 9 times, 1 time, 2 time and 0. Right? So 18,240 people applied for it, right? Then after scrutinizing, the PSU rejected 15% of the applications, right? So that simply means what? That 15% of the applications were rejected. So how many were accepted? How many were accepted? 85%. Now 5% is 1 by 20. So 85% would be 17 by 20. Right, so 17 by 20, in every 20 people, 17 people accepted it. So in a total of 18,240, how many people are going to accept it? So this goes 912. 912 multiplied by 17 is what we have to do. 912 multiplied by 17. All right, 7 2 49 carry over 4, 7 1 7 4 11 carry over 1, 9 7 63 64, 2 1 9 9 3 5 5, 7 to 14. Okay, this is 4. So we have 15,534 people, correct? So these many people were accepted. Now out of them only 9,120 people took the retirement through the scheme. So that means the remaining people 9,120 is gone. The remaining people 4 1 4 6. These many people did not take retirement through the scheme even after the application was accepted. Now the question is what percentage of total number of employees did not take retirement, that is these people, even after the application was not rejected. So what percentage of total is it? 6414 divided by 45,600. Correct? 10% is 4560, right? 10% is this, 5% is half of this. So 2780. That means how many? 0, 6, 8, 14, carry over 1, 7, 5, 12, 1, 13, carry over 1, 4, 2, 6, 1, 7. Right? So my number is coming out to be less than, 15%. Right? So less than 15%, there are two options we need to take. This will be a sort of a approximation sort of thing, right? Because 1% is 456. So somewhere close to 14% is going to be my correct answer for this, right? Somewhere close to 14% will be the correct answer for this. Okay, let's move ahead. Question is that in 2003, Brijesh paid a tax of 20% on his salary. Now in 2004, his salary increased by 93 whole 3 by 4% and the tax scheme changed. Under the new tax scheme, he had to pay a fixed sum of 1000 and an additional 20% on the amount above 10,000. His salary in 2004 was more than 10,000 and he paid a tax of 500 more than what he paid in 2003. So let's say 2003 mein the salary was 100x and the tax was 20x because 20% of it. 2004 mein the change that took place, salary became equal to what? Salary became equal to 193.3 by 93.75% increase. So my salary will be 193 3 by 4, 193 whole 3 by 4 x. Correct? And what changed? So this time what he has to pay, so this time the tax is equal to what? So he has to pay a fixed sum of 1000 apart from anything that he has earned above 10,000. So what part is above 10,000? By let's say 50 is how much above 10? 50 minus 10, 40 above 10. 70 is how much above 30? 70 minus 30, 40. So what value of his income is going to be above 10,000? Income minus 10,000. And uska 20%. So 20% is 1 by 5 of 193 whole 3 by 4x minus 10,000. And it has, so this is the current tax, this is the previous tax. And it has been given that the difference between both the tax values is what? It's rupees 500 because this year he has paid 500 ka more tax. Correct? So this, the equation that you will be getting is 1000 plus, so this is what? 193 into 4. So 193 into 4 would be what? 19 into 4, 76. So 760, 3 4s are 12, 772 and 3 wo, so 775. So 775x by 4 multiplied by 1 by 5 minus 20% of 10,000, that is 2,000. And this, from this, if you remove previous year ka tax, that is 20x, you get a difference of 500. Correct? So 1000 minus 2000 is minus 1000. Minus 1000 goes over here in addition, it becomes a 1500. Right? Let's solve this part. So this part becomes what? 1, 2 you are left with, 27 goes 5 times. You are left with 2, 155. So 155x by 4 minus 20x is equal to 1500 is what you get. Correct? Let's take the LCM. What do we get? I'm solving it over here now. So 155x by 4 minus, let's take the LCM over here. So 80x is equal to 1500. Correct? What are you left with? 75x is equal to 6000. Or my x becomes equal to what? It becomes equal to 8080. Correct? So what is the salary in 2004? So salary in 2004 is nothing but 775 multiplied by 80 divided by 4. This goes 20 times. 775 into 2, 700, 700, 1400, 75, 79, 75, 79, 150. So 15,500 rupees was his salary in 2004. Right? So I hope I made myself clear. Let's move ahead. Usha bought a certain number of chocolates at the rate of 16 chocolates for 12 rupees. So 16 chocolates ka cost is 12 rupees. Correct? and same number of chocolates at rate of 24 chocolates for 20. So 24 chocolates at the rate of 20 rupees. Right? इस केस में one chocolate cost me what? 3 by 4 rupees. इस केस में one chocolate cost me 5 by 6 rupees. Now she has bought equal number of chocolates. Let us assume that she bought one chocolate of each variety. So because ये तो रेट है कि 16 चॉकलेट में 16 चॉकलेट्स का रेट 12 रुपीज है, खरीद वो कितना भी सकती है, रेट ये लगेगा, राइट? तो फ्रॉम हियर यू हैव कैलकुलेटेड वन का रेट, सो टोटल कॉस्ट प्राइस फॉर हर इज गोइंग टू बी व्हाट? 3 by 4 plus 5 by 6. Correct? So this becomes what? 12. This goes 3 times 9. This goes 2 times 10. So you have 19 by 12 as the cost price. Now it is being said she sold all of them at the rate of 30 chocolates for 30. So because she had 2 chocolates and she's selling 1 chocolate for 1 rupee, the total selling price is going to be 2 rupees. So find a profit or loss percentage. So profit हो रहा है हमको, ये पता है, profit percentage is nothing but SP by CP. So SP is what? SP is 2, CP is 19 by 12. So this would become multiply by 12 divided by 19. So you have a 24 by 19. Correct? So that means original value was 19, final value is 24. So that means she is having a profit of 5 over 19. Now profit of 5 over 19 was roughly translate into 26%. Right? Let's check it with a calculator as well. 24 divided by 19. Yeah, it's 26.31%. Right? So 26% becomes my correct answer. Next question. So a shopkeeper always weighs 20% less than the correct weight. Okay. One day he weighed 20% more than the quantity usually weighed by him. If the profit on the correct weight is 20%, what is the effective profit percentage of profit in this transaction? So every day, let's say I am the customer, right? I am the customer. I went to the shopkeeper and asked him to pack 1000 gram for me, right? But because he is a cheater, so he is only giving me 800 grams, right? And let us assume that cost price of 1 gram, we have already discussed इस तरह के क्वेश्चन को 1 gram में लेके करो. Cost price of 1 gram is let's say 1 rupee. So cost price of 800 grams that he is giving me is 800 rupees. And he is able to get a profit of 20%. So 20% profit means the selling price for him is going to be 960 rupees. So basically from the customer, he is charging 960 rupees and he is saying that I'll give you 1000 grams, but he's actually giving only 800 grams. Right? So he's actually giving only 800 grams. Now one day, what mistake he did, he weighed 20% more than the quantity usually weighed by him. So he weighs how much? 800 grams, right? Okay, correct weight is 20%. Okay, the profit on correct weight is 20%. Sorry. Not correct. Correct weight is 1000 grams, right? So 1000 gram ka cost price is 1000 rupees. So if he has to gain 20%, he has to sell at 1200. So he's charging me or the customer 1200 rupees and saying that I'll give you 1000 grams. But after charging 1200 rupees, he's only giving you 800 grams. But today by mistake, he measured 20% extra. So he measured how much? 960 gram. Now he is unaware of that, right? So he gives away 960 grams, he still cheats and gives 960 grams this time. But the charge he is going to do the same, that is 1200 rupees. He's charging me 1200 rupees, right? So for every gram, how much rupee is he charging me? 1200 divided by 960. So he's charging me 5 by 4 rupees. So I know that the selling price of 1 gram is 5 by 4 and cost price is 1 rupee. So my profit percentage would become SP by CP, that is this. So 5 by 4, original value 4, final value 5, increase of 1 by 4, that means a 25% on today's transaction. So he's gaining a 25% on today's transaction, right? Let's solve one more question. So a new coach was appointed in the middle of a season for a football team, right? Okay, so he was appointed in the middle of the season. After he took over, the team won 80% of the 60 matches it played. So after joining, they played 60 matches, out of which they won 80%, that is 4 by 5. So how many matches did they win? 48 matches. Now it says, but the overall success rate of the team was only 60%. to find the minimum number of matches the team must have played that season before the new coach took over, right? So they've already won 48 matches, right? They've already won 48 matches. They have played 60 matches after he has joined, and the ratio is 80%. The winning percentage is 80%. But the overall success rate was 60%, right? So see, what you have to do is you have to minimize the total number of matches. So let's say total number of matches are 100. Uska 60% is 60 matches. If total number of matches is 200, uska 60% is 120. So if you increase the number of matches, the number of wins to get that 60% ka mark will also increase. That means if I want to keep the minimum number of matches, so I have to keep the wins as minimum, right? I have to keep the wins as minimum. So minimum wins मैं कैसे रख सकता हूँ? I know they have already won 48. So to keep the number of wins as minimum, I'll assume that they only won 48 matches in the entire tournament. So if they won 48 matches, and 48 matches is 60% of total won matches, right? So total number of matches would be what? So let's say the total number of matches is X, right? अब इसका 60%, that is 3/5 is given to me as 48. So my X ka value will become what? My X ka value will become 80. So how many matches the team must have played before the new coach took over? So after he took over, they played 60. Total, they played 80. So before he took over, they played a total of 20 matches. That is going to be my correct answer for this, right? Last question for this video. So the question is that in December 2014, Bala spent 75% of his income on food, shopping, and utility bills. Okay. So let's say in 2004, Bala ki income is 100x, right? 2004. Sorry, 2014. So he spent 75%. So spent kitna hua? 75x. Correct? Spent is 75x. Now the amount that he spent on food, shopping, and utility bills are in ratio 7:6:2. So we have food, we have shopping, we have utility, right? So let's say on food he is spending 7x, on shopping he is spending 6x, utility 2x. Total he is spending 15x. Whereas we have been given that he has total spent 75x. So, or let's say this is A, this is A, this is A, right? So total he spent 15A, but we know that the total that he has spent is 75x. So my A ka value becomes 5x. So once my A becomes 5x, my expenditure on food becomes 35x, my expenditure on shopping becomes 30x, and my expenditure on utility becomes 10x. Correct? So this is the case in 2014. Now coming to 2015. We do not know the income, so we'll assume that this time he earned 100y. Out of that, he spent 72y. Right? Now, out of that, the amount that he spent on food, shopping, and utility is what? So, food, shopping, and utility is 22:19:7. So, let's say food pay he spent 22b, shopping pay he spent 19b, and utility pay he spent 17b. Correct? So, total he spent how much? 48b, and we know that total that he has spent is 72y. Right? So, my b ka value will become 1/5y. Correct? So my food becomes 33y. My what do we say? Shopping becomes how much? Shopping becomes my 19 plus 50% of that. So that is 9.5. So 28.5x. Sorry, 28.5y. And on utility, he spent 7b, that is 7 into 1.5, that is 10.5y. Correct? So for both the years now, we have how much was spent on food, shopping, and utility. Similarly, for 2015 also we have that. Now it has been given that the amount he spent on utility bills in February 2015 was 16.66% more than December 2014. So December 2014, where this is the utility payment. Increment of 16.66% means the multiplying factor would be what? Multiplying factor would be 7/6. Right? And this is equal to February 2015 ka utility. That is 10.5y. Correct? So what do you get? 70x is equal to what? 10 6 are 60, 63y. Or what we can say that 10x is equal to 9y. Right? So now the question is the percentage by which his income in December 2014 was less than February 2015. Right? So I know that 10x is equal to 9y. So 100x is going to be equal to 90y. Right? So in 2015, his income was 100y. 2014, his income was 90y. So 90y divided by 100y is how much less? It's a decrement of 10y over 100y. So 10y over 100y ka decrease simply tells you a decrease of 10%. That's going to be my correct answer. So I hope the first 7 questions are clear. In the next video, we'll be solving the next 7 questions.